And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of WunderGraph Live, where we have an unedited, unscripted edition of what we did in this past week. This past week, I'm not going to lie to you guys, was intense. So we're preparing to leave alpha and head into beta for WunderGraph Cloud. So this week, we were doing a bunch of bug fixes, UI fixes, a bunch of new features that we added. And that's why this episode, instead of being on Tuesday, is on Friday. Today, we have a small episode, but jam packed with features. We have a new Postman Collections presented by David. We have a bunch of new UI updates presented by Ilko. We have two highly requested features presented by Alberto, which are the support for Prisma and new support for TypeScript operations. And then we have the Schema Extension by Yuri. And then, as always, we have closing notes and what's next for WunderGraph next week, presented by me. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the Postman Collections by David. David, feel free to share your screen.
Thanks. Oh, I need to give permission to Mac, so come back to me, please.
And this is why it's unedited and unscripted. Awesome. So, David, while you figure that out, we're going to skip over to the new UI updates by Ilko. Ilko, feel free to share your screen.
Okay, then. Share. Let's hope. Oh my god. I don't think it works in one go.
No worries. Okay,
No,
Ilko.
I just reinstalled my Mac and I don't have access to share in Chrome.
No worries. All right. Alberto, please. We're going to share now the support for Prisma and the support for TypeScript operations with Alberto.
Okay, yeah. I have, thankfully, I have it working, you know?
No pressure.
So, yeah, let me show you guys. So, we've supported different databases for a while, a lot of them going through Prisma, but some people ask us, a lot of users asked that they wanted to manage their own Prisma schema themselves, and they wanted us to just, hook directly into Prisma instead of using it to go through PostgreSQL or SQLite. And this way you can write down your Prisma schema, and then we read from there, and we don't need to introspect the database. So, in some use cases, this works better. And we made it like super simple. You can have your schema here. Like this is a very simple one for a demo. Of course, yours is going to be more complicated than this. And here, instead of using introspect PostgreSQL or introspect SQLite, you can just point it to your schema, your Prisma schema. And that should be it. We are recommending that you use this because without or going directly through Prisma, there is no need to cache anything. We might make this the default at some point, but right now, for consistency with other data sources, this defaults to using the cache. But you could disable that, and it's going to be fast anyway. So that's the first thing that I wanted you guys to show. And the other one is a very, very, very nice addition that we've made to the way you can write TypeScript functions. As you know, it's something new that we added a few weeks back. And now we've added new means for you to call operations from TypeScript in a way more ergonomic way. So previously you had here, this is a TypeScript operation. As you can see here, this is a mutation. And you can see here, we have tests using our testing framework. And we are calling these operations here. This creates a node with a test, and this allows you to retrieve the node. But let's say now, because you want to create, for example, also you can create a tag. But let's say, like, I don't know, you can create a tag here. And you create a tag like this, right? And you can see it like, I like to create, like shorter tags, like let's say I will say cooking. Okay? I put it in node 33. But other people like, to use like long tag names, and this gets, because some people like to capitalize it, and some people like to capitalize this or something like that. So the tag is created verbatim. It could be nice if we could, normalize this, and we turn this into lowercase and change the spaces to dashes, right? And doing this into GraphQL is a bit complicated. So we added this means to, you can see like here, we create a tag with the name that we get passing. But let's say we want to do that kind of normalization. Well, we can do here is we can turn this into an internal operation. So this is no longer accessible for the external world. We can only call it ourselves. And we have this operation here in TypeScript. When we normalize the tag, we change it to lowercase and we replace all the spaces with dashes. And you can see here that we call the previous operation that we had here. And we can use this super nice syntax, like the same we have in the web client. And you just indicate the operation. This is entirely type safe. Like if I delete something here, it's going to tell me there is a problem. If these were the incorrect type or anything that didn't match what it needs to match, they will fail. Here, this operation, which is takes the same arguments as this one. So we call that directly with after this normalization. And if you see here, we call now this. We get sorry. This is the things that happens when you do it live. As you can see, the tag name came back normalized. All is in lowercase, and it replaces the spaces with dashes or with hyphens. But yeah, and I also wanted to show you something that we added this week that is also very nice. Like you can, for example, let's say you want to validate that this operation is only for authenticated users. This takes an extra user parameter. And you can validate here whether there is a user or not. And let's say that we want to make sure that only authorized users can see this. And if we try to, sorry, we need to start this manually for now, but you should not need to do that. And when we do this, you can see now we get a 401 unauthorized because we are now requiring a user to be present. So yeah, that's basically what we added in the last week. We like it a lot. We are seeing a lot of new use cases or things that you could do before, but were less ergonomic. And we are super excited of what you guys are going to build with all this new functionality. So, and that was it from me.
Very nice, Alberto. Let's check back in with David and see if his screen is up and ready to go. You good to go, David?
Yeah, okay, take two.
All right, take two. David will be presenting the Postman collections added to WunderGraph Cloud.
There we go.
There you go. Give it a second to render nicely, and then you're good to go.
Are we good to go?
You're good to go. Take it away.
Okay, so in the words of Neil Buchanan, which none of you here will know, here's one I made earlier. So I've got a project on my cloud. So I'm going to check out my operations. So we've got a few operations here, and we've got a swanky new button here on the right side. So I'm going to give that a click. Ooh, I get a JSON download. So I'm going to go to Postman. I'm going to click import, and I am going to select that JSON that I've just downloaded. And then I'm going to import it. And then you'll see here we've got a bunch of queries, and we've got a mutation as well. You'll also notice that I have my environment variable here, which is the same address as my as here. So I'll go ahead and send a request. So this one, I should get back a bunch of data, which I do, the SpaceX missions. We can do one here with a parameter, so I'll give it ID 1. And we get back Jens. And if I change it to ID 2, we get back Jens again, like a bad smell, because the resolver is default to just one single user.
Even when Jens is not here, he's here.
Yeah, you just can't get rid of him. And we can also send a mutation here. So I'll go ahead and make a new user, David, and Smells great. Send that. Perfect. And that's all I have for you, Stefan.
Very nice, David. So now you can easily share your API definition with one click through Postman. Thank you, David. I'm really excited about that feature for WunderGraph Cloud. Next, let's check in with Eelco. Eelco, are we all good to share?
I think it should be good now. Let's see.
That's right. Feel free to share your screen. And there we go.
There
I
we
see it.
go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Give it a second to re-render. You're good to go.
So I think you saw already a little sneak peek when David was presenting, and not everything is online yet, but we've been working on implementing the new brand in the cloud and getting everything ready for beta, like finishing touches, making everything consistent, and just make it look great. So I show you a bit around. This is the project overview of my test project here. You can see the status. You can see there's no deployments pending. This is new too. You can now see how much operations you have. I just have one query. So let's go there. And here's my list of operations. You can download the Postman Collection here. Analytics we have. Settings got a small facelift. We have some more stuff coming up next week about this, but we'll show that later. What else is new? New project. This is not deployed yet. We have some improvements in the templates, but that will be available once we're on beta next week, I think.
One
That's
small
pretty
thing
much it.
in deployments overview, I think we added the deployment ID. So if you ever run into an issue, it's very valuable to share that ID with us.
Good point. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
very
it
nice.
for now. But it's all coming together very nicely, I think.
Looks great. Awesome. Thank you, Eelco. And then we have the Schema Extension by Yuri. Yuri, let me bring your screen up. Give it a second to render. You're good to go.
Great. So here we have the schema of our data source with an image type, which contains a geography field and its scalar. We know that origin will return the JSON object with latitude and longitude fields, but WunderGraph can't know this from introspection alone. So in this case, we can use schema extension, define the type, specify what type and field we need to replace with the schema extension. Here we define only response type replacement, but it works for mutations as well. You need just specify input type replacement. This functionality works for GraphQL data sources, databases, and open API introspection. So when we run generate, we will be available to query these fields. And for example, as you can see, the response will return latitude and longitude.
Cool.
Very nice.
And that's it.
Awesome. And so that concludes another episode of WunderGraph Live, an unedited, unscripted edition where we talk about everything we did in the past week. So like I said, this week was a grind. Everybody, pitched in, was helping out, fixing documentation, getting everything ready as we're leaving alpha and heading it into beta. This is the last week before this is the last week that you'll be able to get access to the waitlist to get 3 months free of Pro. So make sure you sign up on our waitlist. It's just a button on our landing page. Next week will be a surprise when we release. So keep your emails open, keep us your Twitter tabs open on us, and make sure you guys are, following WunderGraph to see when we launch. But we're super excited. Can't wait for everyone to try it out. And it's going to be awesome. So thanks again, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.